4 months, 0 illegal entries. Those 7 words just shattered every narrative about border security being impossible. Well, Biden's administration spent 4 years claiming the border was too complex to control, that walls don't work, that enforcement was inhumane. Trump just proved them all liars. But this goes beyond just stopping illegal crossings. What's happening at our southern border right now involves cartels running scares, sanctuary cities facing justice, and a complete reversal of America's most dangerous crisis. And the numbers are actually staggering. The results are undeniable, and the implications are massive. Every excuse for open borders just died. Every argument for amnesty just collapsed. And the truth is simpler than they claimed. So get ready for some facts that will blow your mind. Now, time is your skin's enemy, but you can fight back. Ageless Multi-Collagen delivers the 5 essential collagen types your body craves, sourced from 4 premium providers. This isn't just anti-aging, it's age reversal at the cellular level. Hydrolyzed for perfect absorption. No clumping or nasty taste, just mix, drink, and watch years disappear. I've used it for years. They've sponsored this program for years because it works, period. Plus, every purchase feeds hungry children through nokidhungry.org. Non-GMO, hormone-free, real results. Don't let another day steal your collagen. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com and reclaim your youth today. You'll find a link below, and we thank them for sponsoring the program. Now, Stephen Miller, he is on a tear. Usually police arrest an illegal alien predator and ICE makes a detainer, but in sanctuary cities, what happens?
Let me just break down for your audience, Sean, how severe the crime committed by these sanctuary cities is. So you'll have a situation where local police in Boston will arrest an illegal alien who's a child predator. And ICE will then send what's called a detainer request or a hold request, and will say, don't release this person, hand them over to ICE, and we'll remove this child predator from our community. Instead, these sanctuary mayors will order the police department to ignore the federal request to set them free out of the jail, out of the prison, and they will go back into the community, and then they will reoffend. They will hurt another little girl, they will hurt another little boy, and then ICE has to spend weeks scouring the community to find this public safety threat. What they're doing, Sean, is evil, and President Trump will see that they are held to account for their crimes. Let me just
And he certainly is. Here's President Trump on the Todd Starnes show just a couple hours ago, talking about the damage that Joe Biden has done.
Especially at the border. When you look at the damage that Joe Biden and his group of idiots did to this country is unimaginable, and especially at the border. When you look at that border, and the millions of people, millions and millions, 25 million people, that stupid person allowed into our country. And think of the focus. I mean, so much of our focus is getting these criminals out of our country. I mean, it's just, it's hard work. And if I didn't win, this country would be finished. The damage that Joe Biden and his group of idiots.
Here's more from his appearance on the Todd Starnes show earlier today.
Our country. For the last 4 months, we've had 0 people come into our country because we're tough. And we're smart, and we know what we're doing. And Biden had a low IQ before he got, even worse. He was low IQ 30 years ago. I just have to check it out. The guy was a terrible, terrible, stupid person. Just a glad-hander. You call him a glad-hander. Puts out his hand. He had a nice smile.
We have a saying, Mr. President of the South, that when it comes to President Biden, the cheese had slid off his cracker, as they say. So,
well, it was never really there. I mean, if you look back, He was never a smart person. For the last...
Oh, wow. President Trump tearing into him. Homeland Security posted this 24 hours ago. While the media peddles lies, DHS delivers facts. Watch as we set the record straight.
This week. I'm Lauren Biss, Deputy Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security, and I'm here to set the record straight on a few fake news stories from this week. First, we have the outrageous soccer coach story. This quote-unquote soccer coach, Frank De La Pena, is a criminal illegal alien with a rap sheet that includes third-degree assault, resisting arrest, and driving without a license. He was not kidnapped. He was arrested for breaking the law. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, if you break the law, you will face the consequences. Next on the list, we have the LA Times. They covered members of Congress who claimed they toured a ICE detention facility that was a quote-unquote sanitized display. So now the fake news and sanctuary politicians are complaining that ICE processing facilities are too clean? Absolutely insane. The truth is, ICE has higher detention standards than most U.S. prisons that hold actual U.S. citizens. All detainees are provided with proper meals, medical treatment, and have opportunities to communicate with their family members and lawyers. Last on the list, we have NBC News. They ran a false sob story of, get this, a convicted murderer to demonize our brave ICE law enforcement. Rafael Collado, a criminal illegal alien, made false claims about Alligator Alcatraz. He has convictions for drug trafficking, homicide, battery, and unlawfully carrying a gun. This convicted murderer lied about this facility. Alligator Alcatraz does meet federal detention standards. All detainees' facilities are clean. Any allegations of inhumane conditions are false. When will the media stop peddling hoaxes about illegal alien detention centers and start focusing on the American victims of illegal alien crime? Tune in next week where we'll be back to battle more fake news.
Wow. How cool is that to see that from the Department of Homeland Security? Here is the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, says take nothing for granted about the midterms.
Elections. I think we have a good chance, but take nothing for granted, Laura. You have the Democrats are still trying to register illegal aliens. They still explicitly say that they want illegal aliens to vote in federal elections. We still have, I think, a lot of headwinds from the media. They never tell the truth about what we're doing, about what the president has accomplished for the American people. So don't rest on our laurels. Keep on achieving victories for the American people and keep on trying to win. That's our path to being able to continue to govern this country. I'm not going to bank anything in 2026. We just have to keep working at it. I think we have a good...
Yeah, don't rest on your laurels. We have to turn out the vote. And we got to make sure that we can preserve this redistricting in Texas. You know, California is stepping up right now. Here's the DEA HQ Administrator Terry Cole thanking President Trump.
Together, thanks to President Trump securing the border, we are going to see a decrease in poisonings this year in the United States. I think due to his efforts with Mexico, we are seeing a willingness for them to cooperate at record levels with the United States and our personnel. And I think together we can continue to save as many American lives as possible. The 330 million Americans expect the Drug Enforcement Administration, our men and women, to be on the streets every single day conducting enforcement operations to save American lives. Thanks to President.
Time is now. Here he is, more on the narco-terrorist state Venezuela.
To work with Venezuela has turned into a narco-terrorist state that continues to work with the FARC, continues to work with ELN from Colombia to send record amounts of cocaine from Venezuela, from Colombia, into the Mexican cartels that continue to come into the United States at record amounts. We have seized more cocaine this year than past years. The amount of methamphetamine coming into this country continues to be on the uptick, and we still see record amounts of fentanyl coming into our country. But the Venezuelan corruption, the Venezuelan dictatorship, he is a narco-terrorist. They continue to send this poison to the United States, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans, not to mention the TDA members that they send to our country to destroy the beautiful streets of the United States.
Now, if you notice what it says on that graphic on the screen there, U.S. destroyers to patrol waters near Venezuela. Talk about sending a message. President Trump is not holding back. Send the destroyers off the coast of Venezuela, and let's send a message to that narco state that we are just one cruise missile away from destroying all of their operations. Well, Democrats defend criminals and illegal aliens. American families are left paying the price. CMS Medill, VP of COIN, explains how these failed priorities hurt taxpayers in the United States.
It's making headlines. You see these blue states just continue to be defiant. With that mariachi band out there, it's just kind of offensive to me. But they're protecting these predators. How many times do we have to say it? People get killed, raped, and other things.
Yeah, here again, you got Democrats making headlines for defending the criminals, for defending illegal aliens, for defending people who are making it harder for tax-paying U.S. citizens to go to work, get a good paycheck, to raise our families in a safe community. And I think it's so interesting. You know, Mayor Eric Adams, he's kind of walked back all that New York has spent on illegal aliens to house and the resources that it's taken away from New Yorkers. Billions of dollars that they have spent, that's going away from those who need it. In particular, those who are hit the hardest by this are low-income communities who really need the resources of their city to help them get back on their feet, and they're being failed. And here in Boston, you've got this mayor, as you said, bringing out a mariachi band, making a political show of it all. And what she is saying is, I value illegal immigrant criminals, hardened criminals, over the safety and security of Bostonians. And I hope everyone hears that as they go to the polls, whether it be in the midterms or the next presidential or whenever that woman's up for re-election.
Yeah, Boston needs to get rid of their mayor. The Trump page posting this. I voted for this to deport every illegal alien in the United States. A Southwest flight headed to Dallas was reportedly rerouted mid-flight to Nashville for an ICE raid. Now, there is a community post note here. What does it say? This has been debunked. It was not an ICE raid. This flight was diverted because of a threat made. National reporter Nick Barris wrote that the phoned-in bomb threat prompted the diversion. Okay, well, let's take a look anyway. I mean, imagine if that was the scene on your flight. Regardless. That's just a terrifying, terrifying visual. So it was not an ICE raid. It was for a bomb threat. We have this 30 people charged with brutal crimes in Colorado, including multiple Tren de Aragua gang members.
What investigators are calling brutal crimes.
It all started at an apartment complex, an Arapahoe County apartment complex, with the sheriff's department noticing a concerning spike in crime there. Fox 31's Vicente Arenas joining us now live tonight with the latest details here. Vicente.
Christine, they gave us a lot of details about this investigation, and they even used the word barbaric when they were talking about the different types of crimes that were committed. In some cases, they said that some of the suspects offered to bring back severed heads in exchange for money. The Ivy Crossing Apartments in Arapahoe County on South Quebec Street and East Harvard Place quickly became the focus of a massive investigation after crime spiked there in October of last year. After an investigation by the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office, APD, Denver's ATF and DEA, and Homeland Security investigations, 30 people now face charges.
The charges include firearms trafficking, drug trafficking, and a barbaric murder-for-hire plot in which several of the defendants agreed to kill two people for $15,000 and return their severed heads as proof of the murders for just an extra $5,000.
Crimes at the complex began to worsen after TDA gang activity was noticed at an Aurora apartment complex. During the investigation, law enforcement confiscated 69 weapons, one of them a small pistol that investigators say had a machine gun conversion device.
By removing these firearms from the street, we've disrupted a dangerous cycle of violence, preventing further harm to our communities and sending a clear message to criminal networks. We will bring you to justice.
A large amount of drugs were also confiscated. Arapahoe County Sheriff Tyler Brown says there's been a 75% drop in calls for service at Ivy Crossing during the first 8 months of this year compared to the same time last year.
This work has not only targeted those who bring harm to our neighborhoods, but has also strengthened the foundation for a safer and more hopeful future for the families in Ivy Crossing.
In Aurora, investigators also made strides to stop crimes investigators say Tren de Aragua gang members were committing.
So one of the things that we've done in the city of Aurora, as you all know, we closed down the Edge of Lowry apartments, and we are working towards trying to get that completely shut down.
Investigators say more arrests are expected in the case.
Wow. And that's what Trump's working to clean up. Trump administration has begun painting the border wall black in order to protect against rust and make it hot to touch in the desert sun and thus more difficult to climb. Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy. They're painting it black so it absorbs more heat from the sun. Holy cow. That's wild. Now, why use rollers? Why not just spray it? Seems like it'd be more efficient. I know you get some overspray between the beams and everything, but I don't know. I just go there with a sprayer. Spray it all down. What else do we have here? Liberal TikToker encourages her followers to date illegal aliens to protest the Trump administration. Yeah.
Wonder why? Well, if you hate this administration and you are single, the most radical thing you can do right now is start dating immigrants. Think about it. It hasn't been working out with these American men anyway, has it? I wonder why. Well, look at our country. That's why. So when you find a man from another country who can truly appreciate your genius, your beauty, your whole life will change. And on top of that, you're going to piss off the president. Woo! Oh, they're stealing our jobs. Wait till they start stealing all the women. If you hate this administration and you are single, the most...
how much you want to bet she's single? Yeah. How many cats do you think she has? A new ICE detention facility is now coming to Nebraska.
That it'll be located.
Nebraska will soon be home to an immigration detention facility. Thanks for joining us. I'm Julie Cornell.
I'm Rob McCartney. Governor Jim Pillen announced today that it'll be located in McCook. That's in Red Willow County, 4 hours away from Omaha. The detention center will house 280 people who are awaiting deportation and other immigration proceedings. And it's not just the detention center. Tonight, we have team coverage. Bill Shammer shares how other Nebraska agencies will help with immigration enforcement.
First, Pete Cudahy leads off our team coverage with logistics of the project.
Julie, Rob, after attending the press conference today in Lincoln, I learned that the goal of this facility is to serve as a hub for immigration detention throughout the Midwest. Now, the Nebraska Department or Correctional Department Services, they say that right now this building, it serves as a work ethic camp, and so that's also known as a WIC, and they say they're ready for the change.
Tuesday, the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services announced plans to work with the federal government on a facility housing immigration detainees.
It is our intent to partner with U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, to repurpose the work ethic camp as an ICE detention facility.
The site currently serves as a work ethic camp. It's home to 186 detainees who are considered low to medium risk. In a statement, Governor Jim Pillen mentions ICE encounters with an alleged MS-13 kingpin and murderer in Nebraska playing a role in the partnership of the detention center. Despite the work ethic camp dealing with low-risk individuals in the past, NDCS says it's prepared for the change.
It's just another population for us to manage.
Those currently detained in McCook will be moved to other facilities in the state, making room for what's being called Cornhusker Clink.
Cornhusker Clink. Why not just put a moat around it, fill with alligators? Follow Florida's lead. If you got value from this report, tab subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what America First looks like in action. 0 illegal entries, fentanyl deaths dropping, cartels in retreat, criminal gangs arrested, sanctuary cities facing prosecution. Trump didn't negotiate with human traffickers. He crushed them. He didn't debate border security. He delivered it. 4 months, 0 of 0 proves what we always knew. The border crisis was a choice. Democrats chose chaos. They chose invasion. They chose American deaths from fentanyl. They called walls racist while children died from cartel poison, and now their sanctuary cities face criminal charges for harboring killers. The DEA confirms record cooperation from Mexico because Trump means business. The border wall stands tall, painted black, hot to touch, impossible to climb. Simple question: should every sanctuary city mayor face federal prosecution for harboring criminal illegals? Drop a yes or a no in the comments. Let's continue this conversation and show your support for real border security. You can grab an Alligator Alcatraz shirt for that all-inclusive resort down in Florida at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.